Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of REISmartTalk. We have a special guest today, Sandee Payne. She's an absolute savage inside of the real estate game. She created a program mainly for herself a while back, 0 to 100, to get 100 listings in a year. And then a conversation, somebody else wanted to jump in. Now it's a whole program of how to get started to go from 0 to 100 listings inside of a year. She's going to talk a bit about that today, get us into how you can join in on the fun and set your goals from daily to weekly all the way through to quarterly to finding that success at the end of the year. How to challenge not only yourself, but also the people inside of your office. So, hey, Sandee, thanks for joining me today. I'm looking forward to diving into this. I don't get to talk to a lot of realtors a lot of times and see that side of the fence as I mainly lean into the investors. But as the two are starting to join together, you know, we're going to see a lot of that 2026, 2027, the super realtor that's now also the investor that's going to get his real estate license. We're creating a new breed of real estate investor.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's exciting.
No problem.
Very exciting. I'm happy to share what we can.
So talk to me about this 0 to 100. How did you start this program? Where did it get its roots and its traction?
Yeah, so about 4 years ago, I'll just kind of give a recap. I've been in the real estate industry for 12 years as a real estate agent, residential. A few years in, I knew that what I was getting in my own company and my own brokerage wasn't enough. And so I leaned into coaching. And about 4 years ago, through growing in the coaching program, I was given the opportunity to be on a panel at the Tom Ferry Summit. So this was a Tom Ferry coaching program. And the topic of the conversation was listing attraction strategies. So not necessarily how to win at the table, right? Like how to get them to sign the agreement, but like how do you get the opportunity in the first place, right? How do you get your phone to ring? How do you get that attraction? Because it's got to start there. And so I was sharing, branding and all the things. And after our panel, Tom kind of turned to me and he said, hey, you want to make a bet? Well, I don't know if you've ever been to one of these events, but when Tom Ferry says, do you want to make a bet? Like the answer is yes. Like you just say yes. It could be like career annihilation if you say no, right? So I was like, absolutely. And he's like, you don't even know what it is. And I was like, it's going to be good. Like whatever it is, like I'm in, like I'm all down for it.
Once again, savage. You're just like, let's go. We'll figure it. Let's build the parachute.
I don't know what it is, but let's do it. And he was like, I bet $10,000. $10,000. And I was like, that you can't take 100 listings in the next year. I was like, what was like, my gut was like, oh, like, I'll show you. And I just flipped the switch. Like something flipped in me and I was like, I'm gonna do this.
Prior to that conversation, what did you do the year before?
Yeah, so still really good, right?
Right.
But I felt like I was like, I don't want to say like at capacity, but I think sometimes we get to like that glass ceiling moment. You're like, my gosh, what am I gonna have to add? Like this is doubling my listing business. I mean, that's a big jump to double your business, especially on that category. And I was like, done, I'm doing it. And so everyone was like, you're insane. Like this is gonna be crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. We have the knowledge. And I think that's a piece that a lot of real estate agents forget. Like this was like pre-ChatGPT. So I'm just gonna preface that. Like we didn't have that type of tool 4 years ago at our disposal. And I was like, you know what? I have learned so much. I have been to so many conferences. It's here somewhere. I put it together and make it actually happen. And so that's kind of how it started. And so over the next 10 months, I leaned into this also as a solo agent. I did have a small team of agents 4 years ago. I did have a transaction coordinator, just really lean. I mean, just the basics. But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna just go for this because if I don't actually do this myself, I'm not gonna know how to build this to be repeatable even by another solo agent who might want to learn how to do this for themselves. So I did not use my TC for these 100, did not use any of my team or assistants. I took this on like as a gut check of like, do I really have what I need to do? Scott, what I learned really quick, I had a lot of broken parts to my business. Not just
and that's the beauty of making yourself uncomfortable is you have to get down into that toy box and start to realize what are my toys or what are my assets? Am I using them properly? And then you start to rebuild the structure, because what we do is naturally in life is we find the objects and the tools to help us get comfortable. And then it's a repeatable process. And then we just kind of like, yep, that's where it's at. That's the most I can do with this system. But until we tear that system apart, or force ourselves to get uncomfortable, that's where we find growth.
Yeah, it became like yes, it was a challenge with him, but it became like I'm going to personally challenge myself.
Right.
You know, it's that you versus you mentality. You
right.
versus the better version of you, right? Like
right.
the savage level of you,
yes,
right?
I love that
so
word.
I thought, oh my gosh. So I got back to my office. I told my husband what I did, and he was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. Like, we're going to do this. And I was like, just think about it. Like, let's just take my average paycheck and let's just like times that by 100. Let's just like think of that. And when you were doing the intro, you were talking about kind of that daily, weekly, quarterly, yearly goal.
Right.
One of the things I see a lot of real estate agents in coaching them through something like this is their end game is the next paycheck. Their end game isn't the 100 paychecks that have accumulated at the end of the goal. So I had to shift my mind to, I'm not working to the next one. I'm working to that one. I'm working to the December 31 number.
Right.
And when you have that in your forefront, you show up different, right? You focus different. Your time becomes very different. What you do with your time becomes very different. And so I thought, how am I going to digest this? So what I did in the challenge is I said, okay, I'm going to take each listing lead pillar and I'm going to spend 1 month on it. And I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to recreate the puzzle pieces that are missing. Like, I'm going to lean into every aspect of it. And how can I make this into a standard operating procedure that's as automated and repeatable and scalable as possible as one human being? And so that's what I did. I took 1 month each month and I built 10 listing lead pillars from start to finish that are repeatable, scalable, and profitable.
Right. That's the biggest. That's one of the struggles inside of the real estate industry right now. As a realtor, is 90% aren't profitable. 90% of all realtors out there, I think the study I saw the other day was like made less than $10,000. And so you can go get the license, but if you don't have the structure to utilize the license, or if you don't have the mentorship or the coaching to take it to the next level, the next level, the next level, oftentimes we just get stuck in the mud or wherever we're at and think that that's it. And I know I did that inside of, I was flipping houses back in the early 2000s when it was super easy, minus the fact that I didn't have systems and processes like we have now with REI print mail and lead generation and all of that. I was taking a 6-pack of beer to the broker's office on a Friday, at closing time and sitting down and be like, hey, what do you got? That was my marketing strategy. And it did me well because I didn't need to scale much because I had my W-2. This was just fun money. But, it's like, I didn't know how to structure different things and have a mentorship to show me the highway. And there's so much education out there and there's bad education. So you want to do your research. But, with being introduced to the right people, they're going to show you more of the right people because typically their inner circles are going to be like-minded. So if you can find that first puzzle piece, that good mentor that you know, like, and trust, and then you see who they know, like, and trust, and start to grow from there.
Yeah, and accountability played a really big part in it. It's kind of like if you plan to lose 50 pounds, but you don't tell anybody, and then if you don't do it, it's like no big deal because like nobody knew you were trying to do it anyway. Like there's like
there's no failure there. If you don't hold yourself accountable or put it out there in the world, it's not real. Therefore, you don't have to fess up to the law. Yeah, it's technically didn't play the game.
And so that's what I did. I said, I'm not going to keep this to myself because I don't want to be that person who stands up on that stage 10 months from now and say, I did it. And I have a room of 6,000 people that were like, yeah, sure.
Right.
And not be believable, right? And I framed it too. I was like, look, I'm going to do this. So, I shared the whole thing on social. I cried on social media. I was excited. I celebrated every appointment, to just say like, it's possible. It is possible to do this. You sitting at home alone, working from home with a cloud-based brokerage, whatever, like not having the support, whatever it is. Like you don't need the VAs, you don't need the team, you don't need every software that's out there. You just need a strategy and you need a daily order of operation and a good calendar. Like there's very, very core foundational things that you need to have, and then what you do on top of that foundation is where the return is.
So let's get into that. Is how did you do it? What was step one? You were there and it's January 1 and which we have coming right around the corner here in a couple weeks. How do we start to build a 0 to 100?
Yeah. The first thing is we need to figure out what systems we have. Do we have our database, like just whatever we have, a CRM, a website, what do we have? Like what are we already paying for? What are we using? And do we know how to use it? Doesn't matter which one it is. It's just, are we using the tools? to keep it all in your brain and to keep it all, like, to be unorganized and have no systems around it is just a recipe for failure, to be completely honest. So even if it's just a spreadsheet, like, these are my clients, these are their phone numbers, this is where they are, like something to get it out of your brain and onto paper so that you can start to really see the big picture, that year picture.
Right.
I think the next thing is that I did is I said, okay, I felt like I was really good at making calls. Like I thought I was doing plenty, but when that pressure tactic, and I knew my KPIs, I knew my numbers.
KPIs don't lie.
Like, I don't know how many phone calls I made. I don't know how many conversations I had, how many I have to get an appointment. Like, I wasn't tracking anything like this. And I was like, wow, I'm gonna really need to know my conversion metrics because that's gonna predict, this is a 10-month challenge.
Right.
I need to know real quick, like, hey, out of every 10 conversations, I get an appointment. Like, I really need to know these things. So I actually had like a little whiteboard, just a tiny little whiteboard in front. It actually still sits here today, okay? And I got a label maker and I put like dials, conversations, like email, like appointment set, appointment map, like these types of metrics. And I had them on a little label and then I just did the little hash marks.
Yep. I did the exact same thing in this position when I started was I had a notebook.
Yeah, yep. I needed to start knowing what am I doing? What am I doing before I know what I need to change or what I need to add, right? So that was really big identity moment. It's terrible. It's a terrible moment. It's a very self-reflective moment because I do believe as a real estate agent, we are, I don't even want to use the word ego, but we're all kind of that type A, that high performer. Right. Like we all feel like we have that entrepreneurial, I'm great at what I do. Ooh, but when you have to look in the mirror and that has to look back at you and you have to self-evaluate what you're actually doing and are you all the things, it's a tough place to be.
And this was me, I just didn't have good structure. You know, I didn't have great parents. I didn't have that good mentorship to look for, but it was one thing that at an early age, I could always see, it's like, I want that, I don't want that. Right. And I had developed one, you know, a certain skill or an asset to myself that you can't lie to the man in the mirror. And even right now, we have a giant mirror in our bathroom and my wife gets aggravated. Now I'm only allowed to write on my side. My first step, you know, if I was joining your program and that is my first step, I would have the number 1 through 100 written there. And every time I got one, I would mark it off. You know, I would also have my daily stats. Did I meet my goals for today? And then how many days have I met my goals every day? You know, I do it in my workouts. Right now, I'm on a 28-day challenge. I'm day 14. I haven't missed a workout. My diet's been on point, you know, but it's like you have to set those goals and then hold yourself accountable to them daily. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, if you start missing, that's your fault. You can't blame anybody.
And when I did the math, I mean, when I was like, okay, 100, like it's easy math, right? Because it's just like ones and zeros. It's like super easy. 100 listings in 10 months, that's 10 listings I need to take a month. That's 2 to 3 listings signed every week. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, well, how many appointments, like, do I win every listing? I can get the appointment, but am I winning them? Because I don't want to go on 10 appointments to try to get one listing. Like, I'm going to have to dial even in my presentation, my pre-listing strategy, because I can't afford the compound effect of not getting those signed. Because here's the thing, you miss a week, you've missed those 2 to 3. They don't disappear, they add on.
Right. It's not just because you lost this week that you can make it, you know, you have to make that up next week.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that can create a big struggle with that with a lot of people is that can create anxiety that, I'm this far behind and I want to quit. You know, we talk about this in direct mail marketing. It's like, I ask you, what do you want to do at the end of the next year? And we'll set our goals and then we'll build a plan on how to get to those goals. And then, you know, we'll oftentimes it's like, well, I don't have that kind of budget. No big deal. Let's start steady, finish strong. Because, you know, what you're doing now is foundational to what you're going to be doing in 6 months. Because all you're going to do is get better. And now, you know, maybe we're doing 1 listing a week right now. And then in the summer, we're getting to that 2 to 3. But towards the end, we're at 4 or 5. Don't quit because you're still building your foundation. Correct. You know, and your task and reevaluating and that, because all we're doing is build to get stronger. And that's where a lot of people will lose effort, is once they get started, they don't think they can do it because they're behind the goal already. And they don't know that it's all about the kick at the end and let's get everything built and rebuilt and then rebuilt again to get.
Yeah, I don't think that ever stops.
Right.
That never stops. And you know, the 0 to 100, I'm not going to promise you're going to do it, But I am going to promise that we're going to build the foundations and you're going to learn my playbooks. Like when I say like, you will not wonder what to do every day. And I think that's one of the big challenges with people is they just don't know what to do. They don't know what to do to get to those. So we're going to break it down. It's a coaching program. It's very direct with me. We have an internal community. So you're going to start this January 1 with the same group of people that you're going to go through the next 10 months with. Like we're going to figure this out together. We're going to lean in on each other. We're going to support each other. We're going to hold each other accountable. Like when I first was building this program, I was like, it's kind of like 75 hard, right? Like you're going to report in every day. You're going to check it off the block because I don't care if you make it 35 days in 75 hard, something in you has changed.
Right.
Your mind has changed. Your body has changed, right? Your health has changed. Your habit forming, right? You start to realize like, wow, I really need to get on this, right? There's always going to be a transformation. Do I hope that we wind up with agents that get 100 listings in 10 months? Like, hell yeah, that's going to be like, incredible. But even if you're like, hey, I've done 2 and I would love to be able to do 10, like don't let the 100 goal scare you. But there are people that are already have a spot in the challenge that are like, hey, I've done 70, I want to get to 100. Like there are going to be those people whose 100 is the goal. I'm doing it. Yeah.
Right. And those are the people that you also learn from that, it's the beauty of getting in the circle of like-minded individuals is everybody wants to be successful. Naturally, a successful person doesn't always want to do it by themselves. They want to share that. They were like, hey, I learned this week, and they share something with you, and then all of a sudden that clicks with you, and then you come back to them, and it creates that mastermind of growth. And it's that miracle grow that all of a sudden you're learning new tactics and implementing those and finding success with those, and then as you go through it, you're going to learn something in that to grow even further. Greg Rochelle's got a great podcast. He's a preacher and just kind of a mental mastermind of leading from the position that you're in. It's like wherever you're at, you're a leader. And if you have that mindset, you're going to lead the people that are above you and below you, and everybody's going to, flourish from that.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I guess I could say like one of the things that has made the way I teach or the way I coach successful is it's not just what you're supposed to do. Like I get really granular with agents that I talk to. I'm like, okay, step 1. Like we're not moving to step 2 until I know that you know how to like do it, like physically do it with me. I just came back from an event yesterday and I'm just like, I'm implementing all of it. But I remember when I first heard, I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? I don't know what this AI, like there comes a time, I know what I'm supposed to do, but like, I don't even know where to start.
Right.
That's the goal, is we're gonna break this down. And I love that you said like, hey, maybe the first month you get 1. But compounding, again, you just build these systems, they become this scalable grow. You hear people doing this and they're like, how do you have the freedom? How do you do all the things yet you're still doing the business? And like, because I built the system.
Right. Well, and it's just like the snowball at the top of the hill. You just got to get it rolling. You get that little roll and all of a sudden you're going to start to pick up other people along the way and it gets a bit bigger. Next thing you know, you got a whole group of people that are cheering you on and you're cheering them on. Yeah. The beauty of these, of this program is you're not by yourself.
Oh,
you have people to go out.
I literally think it's the heart of the program. Right. I've talked to other industry leaders that have different programs and, and figuring all this out, like what do we want it to be? We want it to be different, right? You don't necessarily want it to be a subscription where you just log in, you get the information and then you do it, don't do it, doesn't matter, I get my money.
Right.
That's not the point.
What I love about you is you're like, one, I've done it. This wasn't created out of something that I just wanted to go like, okay, I want to build a coaching. What's catchy? Yeah. Okay, what can I get people to buy into? This started off of a bet. And you're like, oh yeah, watch me. And then you built it. And then other people went, that was pretty cool. How'd you do it? And then you started talking about it. They're like, well, we want to do that. And then it just naturally grew into this, I wouldn't even call it a competition. It's like a growth course. It's already been done. Let me show you what I did. Happy to share with you. And I want everybody to grow with me. And I love that about, the majority of the people that I let into my circle, and thanks for coming in, is the people that are like-minded, that want everybody, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because I get excited, but are like-minded and want everybody around them to be as successful as they are. Oh, yeah. And they're like, hey, come with me and we're going to get there. Let's get there together. So let's start talking about how do they find you? And then what's like step 1 of joining this course? And then, what do we look at, as we go through it? Let's just walk through the program real quick of what they're going to get.
Yeah, so I am everywhere right now. If you just search my name, it's everywhere. So social media, ad campaigns, so hopefully you'll start seeing this, in front of you if you haven't already.
For anybody that's listening, will be Sandee Payne, Sandee Payne.
Yeah.
Right. There's the one, the only.
Yeah. I know after this, you'll be able to share out some links and stuff like that. But yeah, if you just find me, Sandee Payne, you will find, it will be right there. It should be front and center. So what's going to happen, the people who've already enrolled, so we already have people enrolling, we're onboarding them. We actually are running the challenge metrics part of the pipeline, the numbers, like keeping you on track of that accountability piece is being run through Sisu. Yeah, awesome. They're our main sponsor. Everyone, we have a whole platform just for the challenge. If you have it, great. We can talk about that. You don't have anything to do extra. If you don't have it, it's our gift. It's the gift that keeps giving because it's an amazing platform. Other than that, we have a community. So inside the community, we have the discussion boards. We have different channels where we're going to keep all the different topic information. So you're easy to find all the time. We're going to have weekly coaching calls. It'll be the same day, same time, every single week. They'll be recorded. So if you miss one because you're on a listing appointment, you can just jump over to the links. We'll have it all on the YouTube channel. You can find whatever you need. We also have, Scott, 20 industry masters in the industry. 20. I had to stop, but I'm talking about Tristan from Lab Coat Agents, Bill Pipes, Jimmy Mackin, Spring Benson, Justin Nelson. I have 20. The list is just 20 people who are coming in to contribute during those months masterfully to help you really where you are and to give you their top advice. What
I just took from that is the freeway's built, it's lighted, it's paved, the exit ramps are blocked off so you can't get off. It's a freeway straight to success. It's all there, all the tools you need, even the ones you don't that might not apply at the time that are for next year or the following year. It's the master class all the way through.
Yeah. Every month we're going to have a somewhat self-guided-ish 30-day workshop on the listing lead pillar that we're working on. So every day they'll have a little 10-minute block of that next building block. So after the 30 days, they'll be able to have that course completed and should have a completely built out repeatable SOP for that lead pillar. And within that, they'll have scripts, they'll have marketing material, all the assets, templates. We're going to provide as much as we can. Not everybody's creative, not everybody has it. We're going to give it all, and then they can take it, tweak it, use it into their own system as they want. And we do that for 10 straight months. We are going to have leaderboards, which is cool, which is kind of the challenge part, right? Not everybody's going to aim for the 100, so we'll have one long 10-month leaderboard that will be listing sign that will stack through the whole
And that's something I want to point out really quickly here is don't come into this program and say that I don't have time. I don't have this. This program isn't just to go to 100. This is to build a foundation to get better. Whether you go from 5 to 10 and you double, you go from 5 to 25 and you 5x. This program is there to fit everybody in there, whether you're just getting started and you want to get into some leadership and some mentorship and find that path and get on that success and find like-minded individuals, and you haven't even done a deal yet, join. If you broke 100 last year, join also. Because why? You're going to learn something that you might not be implementing correctly now. As I meet more and more realtors in this space, and I go to these events with Spring and where I met you at and with Brandon Brittingham and these guys, I find that the mindset inside of the realtor is sometimes handicapped. They're like, I'm doing this, I'm really good at this. They kind of close their doors to what's out there. And I'll tell you, the industry's changing, and it's changing fast. The investor side of things is, we're able to swing that leg over the fence and no longer go after a property and say, oh, well, it's not really a listing, but I have an investor friend that would do that, and we hand it hoping to get a tip later. No, write it as a contract. Learn how to do it. It's do a quick flip. There's all of these other assets out there that we've been ignoring for years as realtors, and now they're coming in, and we're going to learn about that stuff inside of your group also, right?
We are. Yeah. I've got Brandon. Brandon's on our master guest.
Yeah, Brandon's awesome. And so Spring. I love Spring too. The two of those two together.
Yeah. Via Williams, Veronica Figueroa. The list is stacked. It's ridiculous. I'm so excited. Like, you get goosebumps, I get goosebumps.
I know.
I just want every agent in America and beyond to just jump in.
And I see it at events all the time. I can tell the difference between a realtor and an investor really quickly by the way they engage, is to know and to learn. There's such a high failure rate. The top 10% of the highest producers out there are the ones that, that make the most money, that just kind of sit in the middle because they don't have the systems and processes, or they don't know that they can do these other things. They don't know, or they don't have that mentorship. And that's how I was in the 2000s, was I was just making it up as I went along. Oh, it wasn't until I walked in the room with Brandon Brittingham the first time, and then I just looked around the room and went, and I cussed out loud. I did. The other coach that was with me at the time looked at me and he was like, "What?" I go, "This is what I was missing. It's all right here in this room. Everything I need. If I need hard money to, systems and processes and how to do the math, it's all right here really quickly." Absolutely awesome to have right there at your fingertips, and you're bringing it to them. In doing so, if you like what you heard today, make sure you like and follow. That's the simple thing. Join us at reiprintmill.com. Find us on YouTube, all of the socials. We're going to be posting this out everywhere to bring you more content like this. So if you're in the real estate space, if you're an investor or a realtor, or hopefully both, you're going to find so much information here. Definitely like and follow. Look up Sandee Payne anywhere you can find her, because she's also going to lead you to the success. And absolute savage in the industry, and that's her words, not mine, because I already knew it. She said this is her new word for the year, and I love it, because that's how I would define her as it is. So looking forward to seeing how this goes and growing it from there. We're going to have the attached links to where you can find her as we release this on our podcast. So thank you again, Sandee, for joining us today. Anything in closing you want to add?
Just go savage. Come with us, get on board, and let us all get you to your goals.
Right. Even if you were successful last year, if you thought you were successful, let's build on that. We're always building. Most of the time where we struggle is coasting. We're like, oh, I did it. I can coast now. Then you're falling behind, because nothing sits still. So again, thanks for coming on today. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing what we do over the next year. I'm looking forward to learning more, and I'm very excited. We'll catch up with you on the next one.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Have a good one.
You too.